identifies himself with the little ones who are the poor. They are those who he prefers and the first ones to whom the good news will be given. Anyone who touches them touches Jesus. Third word, Luke 17:5-6. Increase our faith. The disciples said to the Lord, increase our faith. The Lord answered, if you had faith. In this text in Luke, the question to the disciples seems to be motivated by the order of Jesus to forgive in one day. Up to 70 times, 7 the brother or the sister sins against us. Humanly speaking, in the eyes of the world, to forgive in this way is foolish and a scandal. However, for this attitude is the expression of divine wisdom, which forgives us infinitely much more. This text is titled Sin, Faith, and Duty. Jesus was teaching the importance of why not to sin, the consequences for sin, why to forgive those who sin against you, to be strong in your faith, and to be dedicated and devoted to your faith. As we look back at our own history, those 3 categories define what our ancestors endured, fought for, and sacrificed for. Sin, that will be the day when our counterparts, white America, will repent, ask for forgiveness, and repay us for the abominations known as slavery and discrimination. Faith, however, our ancestors did not stand idly by and accept the horrible treatment. They cried out to the Lord because he believed in him that they were carrying him through the struggle. Duty, they refused to allow the mistreatment to escalate any further. And with God's help, they rallied together to fight for justice and equality. I want to talk to you children about Thurgood Marshall and his involvement in a case called Brown v. Board of Education in Topeka. Thurgood Marshall was an American lawyer who served as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court from the United States from October 1967 to October 1991. Marshall was the court's first African-American justice. Prior to his judicial service, he successfully argued several cases before the Supreme Court. However, his most famous case was Brown v. the Board of Education. Brown v. Board of Education of Topeka was a landmark decision of the U.S. Supreme Court, in which the court ruled that the United States state laws establishing racial segregation in public schools are unconstitutional, even if the segregated schools are otherwise equal in quality. The case began in 1951 when a public school district in Topeka, Kansas, refused to enroll the daughter of local black resident Oliver Brown at the school closest to their home, instead requiring her to ride a bus to a segregated black elementary school farther away. Sin being dealt out to the little ones. The Browns and 12 other local black families in similar situations filed a class action lawsuit against the U.S. federal court, against the Topeka Board of Education, alleging that the segregation policy was unconstitutional. The court ruled in favor of the Board of Education, stated by the president or standard of Plessy v. Ferguson, in which the court had ruled that racial segregation was not in itself a violation of the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause, if facilities in question are otherwise equal, and this was known as the doctrine of separate but equal. Brown, then represented by NAACP's Chief Counsel Thurgood Marshall, which agreed to hear the case. The court's decision was Brown partially overruled Plessy v. Ferguson by declaring that separate but equal notion was unconstitutional for American public schools and educational facilities. Ooh, hallelujah. The little ones having faith in God and Marshall staying committed to the cause and trusting God for the outcome. A statement was made for equality for black children to be able to go to school with their white counterparts. Thurgood Marshall didn't have to take the case, but he did. With the injustice. He had that mustard seed-sized faith that told that mulberry tree to be uprooted and planted in the city. Kids deserve to go to a school closer to them. Children, God is telling you today that this is a sinful world. try and swallow you up. But God is here to make you some faithful fighters to combat sin. Furthermore, you fight sin by leaning on Jesus, because he won't let you fall. He won't turn you away, and he won't lead you astray. He was there for your ancestors, and he will be there for you. Jesus is asking you today to give me a try and let me help you, because I need you to help me to fight this outbreak called sin. He's asking you to make a sacrifice to save yourself and save others. He needs some Harriet Tubmans, Frederick Douglass, Martin Luther King Jr., Sojourner Truth, Frank Stelwood, Ralph Tabernacle, Mike Jackson, Coretta Scott King, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, United States, Denmark Beast, John Brown, Nelson Mandela, Willie Mandela, Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, Richard Allen, and more horses. All these pioneers and trailblazers were faithful fighters of the Lord, who were ready and willing to sacrifice everything to ensure freedom and equality, just like Thurgood Marshall. Children, Jesus needs you to call on his name against sadness, against hate, and against evil. He needs you to find and use that mustard seed-sized faith to make good grades. Help other students out. Help the teachers and the faculty out too, because even they need it. Be a faithful fighter for the Lord, and give your all to be a blessing to others like Thurgood Marshall. Don't let no one turn you away from doing the right thing for God. God needs you even at your young age, because you can reach people because of your spirit. Your smiles can brighten someone's gloomy and dreary day. However, evil is always lurking around to find someone to do bad things, even you. Don't allow sin to take you. God gave you a gift in order to fight sin. Sacrifice your gift to save a life. Flip the script on the enemy. Take a page from Thurgood Marshall and our Black history heroes. Thurgood Marshall once said, "We cannot play ostrich." In other words, we cannot hide ourselves by sticking our heads in the dirt and staying out of sight. The ostrich head was the only part not seen by predators, but everything else was out in the open. Make the first move and don't hide. Take a stand for God, because only the faithful will win. So fight for your education. Fight for your equality. Fight to save others. And most of our children, fight for the Lord. encouraging you all to learn more. You'd be surprised how many memory heroes are in your history. So take the time to learn about your heritage. It is a proud heritage. So we have to represent because we cannot let it die out. Let's stand to our feet and reaffirm our faith.